My name is Jan Wie, and I'm head of communications at the Association of Accountants and Auditors and Economists in Denmark. It's called FSR, Danske Revisorer. And we have members like KPMG and PwC and others of the Big Fours. But we also got many other members, small and middle-sized accountant companies. The theme interaction leads me to share with you some of our thoughts and experiences we had when we developed a game for students at business college schools in Denmark. And here you can see a photo we shot when we had this session in a class. And what you can't hear here is that there is laughter, there is shout and yelling, there is people that are frustrated and so forth. And this is a huge mess. And what you can see is this is not a typical class, a business school class. They used to sit on their tables or their chairs by the table and listen to what the teacher or lecturer says. But and just sitting and listening. But what they're doing here is actually that they are interacting and they are involved with this game. The background for this for developing this game was that we knew as an association of accountants that we would lose members during the next years. Many people would retire from the profession, and we could see and tell that there was not so many people getting into the profession as well. So we had to do something about it. And we were considering different ways to go, but we were sure that we couldn't do anything about people leaving the profession, because that was because of retirement and that they were getting older. So we had to find out something, how can we get more people into this business instead? Into this profession. And of course then we had to look at the students, and we found out that this generation called Generation Y is different from all other generations, and we had to find out what kind of people are these people from Generation Y. And we read a lot of books, and we talked with people, and most of all we also made some interviews with Generation Y people as well, representatives, so we can find out what are their dreams, what are their visions, what is important for them when they find out what kind of job they want to get. And we also realized that this is a generation that is very information overloaded, and therefore we found it very hard. It was very hard to communicate about this business and being an accountant. So we have to find out what can we do instead. Instead of making a communication campaign, we very quickly found out that we wanted to develop a game for these people who are studying business at our business colleges. They are not into accountancy or auditing yet, but that could be one way. So those people were very important for us to talk with. So that we did, and we found out that when they are in the classes, we would like to develop a play or a game for them, so they can find out what it means to be an accountant and to make them interested in this. So having realized that we wanted to develop a game, we took one business college class and had a one-day session with these people. And that was to get even more into what their dreams were, what their needs were, and what they thought of getting a job and what was important for them. And we had a lot of very good information here, which could be a part of finding out what kind of game we wanted to develop. And after that, we had a half-day session with teachers from these business colleges, asking them if we want to develop a game, how should that game be, what should it contain, and what would be important for the teachers for their point of view and their perspective. And they say they wanted it to be at two. It should last around 1 hour and a half, and it should contain something about demand and supply and other things about business and running businesses. So that was the second part of this triangle. And then we talked to accountancy experts about if we wanted to develop a game, what kind of game should that be, what should it contain from a accountancy perspective as well. And having talked with those three different segments, we began to develop, okay, what should it then contain? And we made the first draft, and after that we had a test in a class, and we found out how to adjust it and to finish it, and then actually we had the game ready. We wanted to have this played in many classes around Denmark, and nowadays we have, I think, around between 1,000 and 2,000 students who have played this game. And one of the reasons, and what has been very important, is that we have game masters playing these games when they are in the classes. And these are certified people who are studying accountancy already and know a lot about this business. And we made them, we educated them in playing this game so that they could take part of it and be game masters when they were at the schools. And they were very dedicated, and it was very important that these central people also had that they were dedicated. That was very important. And most of all, talking about interaction, we also had feedback to our members, to the accountancy agencies, to tell our members what kind of people these Generation Y are, and what is important if you want to recruit those people and make room for getting new people. So it's very much about interaction here all the time. So now, playing the game. As you can see on the pictures before, this is a game where there's a lot of interaction. It's about how to be an entrepreneur and what it says and means to be an accountant when you are in a small village and you have the village or the city's business going. What is important to have to run your own business in this area? And every student gets one card where you get your role, and you can be, for instance, like you can have a web shop selling clothes, or you can be an IT director, or you can run another kind of business. So you get that role, and then you have to as an entrepreneur to grow your own business, and then to grow your own business, you have to network with the other people, the other students in the class, and you also have and some of those are accountants, so they begin to find out what an accountant, what kind of services an accountant makes. And what was very important here, that this is in the classroom with 25 people. Everyone is involved with this, and everyone is interacting. And instead of having a teacher standing in front of the class talking about accountancy or talking about demand or supply or anything else, this is a much, much better way to learn about what accountancy and auditing is. And as I said before, this was run by one, or even better, it was two game masters having control and making the game run. And what was very important for us was that it's actually rather easy to understand the concept of the play, but it's actually rather hard to be very good at it, and that's the competition of it, to find out how you can succeed with this. And this leads to the triangle, where you can see the interaction finding place. You find the game master, or even the two game masters. You find the students in the classroom, and you find the teacher. And you can say that in the relation between game master and the students now get from theory to reality, because now it's flesh and blood, you see, and you both hear in the beginning when the game master introducing the game, and him or herself finding out what they work with and what they do, but also during the game and in the end of the game, they talk to each other. So that's from theory to reality. And from the game master to the teacher has a more is in the background, and the game master or the two game masters are in the front, and this makes that the teacher will be replaced in this, and that they were very happy with. And from the students to the teacher, this is just another way of teaching and learning. It's the same subjects they're talking about, but they learn it the students learn it in quite another way. So why do we believe in playing games? I can only say that Lego, the very famous Danish company, actually is an abbreviation for like God, which means play well in English. And maybe, I don't know if Danes are very much fond of playing, but I think we think that is a very good way. Not just playing for playing itself, but also you can use this for other purposes. For instance, communication activities. And as you have seen here, when we developed this game, it was interaction, it was involvement. And with this, you can have efficient platforms for information when you're playing and interact like this many ways. So, just as the end and the conclusion of it, we made evaluation of those games. I think it's around 1,500 students who have now played this. And they say, 70% of the students say that they enjoyed the game, and they very much liked to have this kind of teaching instead of what they're used to. 20% of the students knew more about accountancy and auditing than they did before, and that was a very efficient way of teaching, I would say. 15% of these students want to know even more about this, and that is actually what was the purpose of it, that we want to get people more interested in this profession. And 3%, and that's actually a rather high number, said that they would consider to get an education into accountancy and auditing. And also the teachers, they said it was so nice that they had this opportunity to teach their students in another way than they used to. This variation is very, very good. And also our members, the accountant companies, they're very fond of it, and they ask if they can have it and they can play it in their recruitment activities as well. And as I said in the beginning, I must say that it has been, even though it's playing and even though it's a game, I must say it maybe been one of the most cost-efficient communication activities I have ever been involved with. And talking numbers, I would say it's around €50 per student that we have spent. And what we get out of this €50 is 2 hours concentrated talking about and getting into the profession, being an accountant and an auditor. If you would like to know more about this game and our thoughts and experiences that we have with developing this, you can follow this link. You will find a videotape, and you will see how it functions when you are on site. You can also contact me either on this email address you got here, or you can phone me. My mobile phone is there. That was all for me now. Thank you very much.